Hello, beautiful people. It's Bonnie Gillespie coming at you on Thursday, the 29th of August, 2019 at 12:30 Pacific. Starting next week, I'm going live every Tuesday all through September and October at 12 noon Pacific. So we're going to try regularly scheduled programming for a couple of months and see how that goes. So pretty excited. So this will be the last of the random schedule kind of things, and then we're going to get on to something that feels a little regular, not just a little regular, like that is regular. Like every Tuesday, you'll get the Bond Blast in your inbox. If you're not getting your Bond Blast, go over to bonniegillespie.com to fix that. Hello, Kimberly. Glad you're reporting in over at the Facebook. Good to see you, sweetheart. You'll get your Bond Blast on Tuesdays. And let me put up the website. If you're not getting Bond Blast, fix that right there. Just go there, put in your information. Hey, Ryan, whoop, whoop, with your on-brand emoji. And when you get the emails on Tuesday, the Bond Blast, we will talk about what we're going to be covering in that week's episode, which we will do over here, wherever it is that you're watching. Hello, Aaron, reporting in from YouTube, because that's right. We are right now going live through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter/Periscope. I think Twitter shares the Periscope. I mean, I know Twitter owns Periscope, but I think it pushes the stream through to Twitter directly. Hello, Kate. Hello, Terry. Oh, so good to see you, beautiful people. I've got schmutz on my monitor that's distracting me because I'm like seeing a little line over some of the comments, and I'm like, I gotta get, it's a hair. It's a hair. The hair is everywhere. Hello, Lisa. So glad you are catching me live for the first time. Good to have you reporting in over at the YouTube. Cool. So starting next week, September 4th, I believe is the big day. I lied, the 3rd, September 3rd. We will be going live on every Tuesday at noon Pacific. So you can just go ahead and put that on your calendar. If you like hanging out with me, hello, Laura. Thank you for saying hello. We will be doing this. And I have put the topics up at the events calendar at this link. So just head on over there. Also, we always keep comments open at the Facebook version of the replay. Even though you can watch this in replay at YouTube, we keep comments open only at the Facebook page so that the comments stay threaded and neat, and I don't lose my mind chasing comments everywhere. Because I do come back around. If you're watching in replay, just give me #replay. I come back around and answer any questions that you have there. How's everybody doing? We are in Virgo season. We're about to have a Virgo new moon tomorrow. We go into our Virgo. Get this, y'all. For those of you who are into the woo, and you know Auntie Bonnie likes her woo, we are, as of tonight, 5 planets in Virgo. And in astrology, we count sun and moon as planets because that's how it falls. 5 freaking planets in Virgo simultaneously. And according to Deborah Silverman, who I just watched yesterday, we are all but 1 planet in female signs tomorrow. What? That's crazy. But here's what it means. What does it all mean? Yeah, you had a good get shit done day this morning? Awesome, Kimberly. That makes me happy. Let's see, because we are just wrapping up that Leo moon. That's good. Using that fire energy with the earth energy. Virgo in general is get shit done. Like Virgo is earth sign, roll up the sleeves, get that work done. You know, the downside of Virgo, as every Virgo knows, is it's incredibly critical, usually self-critical. And so the Virgo energy pays attention to all the details, gets a lot of details taken care of, but also can sometimes be a little hard on themselves for all the details. So that's the con to the pro of that energy. But Virgo energy is great for getting shit done. And with 5 planets in Virgo, holy balls, we're going to be able to get a lot of stuff done. That earth energy is just like all up there. So enjoy the new moon. Make sure you set your intention, specifically set intentions that are related to details. So if you do a new moon ritual, this is a really good time to call in what it is that you would like to see happen over the next 6 months. Hi, Amber. I'm so glad you're here. This is a really great time to start a new habit. A lot of people are doing a Whole30 for September. We've got a lot of support for that in our Facebook group. We have an SMFA Ninjas Whole30 Facebook group. Right now, the Self-Management for Actors Facebook group is on hiatus for a little bit longer. We are creating a new community on our own platform. This doesn't mean that we will cease to exist on Facebook. Obviously, I'm right here. But what it does mean is that we are opening up a community that should serve the function of what we try to do in our Facebook group in our own space, which gives us a lot more freedom and the ability to be seen. Whereas a lot of times people post things in our Facebook group that just drops on the wall because it's just so busy. I mean, it's like 12, 13,000 people. So it's just really active, really busy. And there's just so much other stuff on Facebook to see, right? So what I love about us creating this, what will be smaller community, because I know we're not going to have like a company move of 12,000, 13,000 people all coming over to our space, not my space, our space. But I think that we will probably see a couple hundred people come over right away, and we will be able to have some of those really deep, like roll your sleeves up conversations about the self-management for actors work and the enoughness work that we're doing. Awesome. Thank you for joining in over on Periscope. Good. Great. So the topic of today, you beautiful people, I'll have more information about our new community soon. Yeah, we're going to start opening in a first wave of people in early September, maybe even over this holiday weekend. We might try to bring some people in. Hello, how are you? Gorgeous. It's good to see you. We will do a broader invitation, and it's application only. Everybody's going to be vetted. There are going to be certain levels that people are able to see based on your experience with self-management for actors, and those people who are in active memberships are going to have broader access than those who may just be fans of the book, and being able to kind of change up what people are able to see based on their level of expertise in this is going to really allow us to have some deep conversations in some meaningful ways that maybe we're not able to do in Facebook. So I'm pretty excited about that. So Lisa is saying, especially trining Uranus in Taurus and all the Capricorn planets, Saturn, South Node, Pluto. Right. Earth signs are like all day right now, right? Yes, you are. You're starting a whole 30. We got some people. Becky is starting a whole 30. Katie, I know, is starting a whole 30. Layla is starting a whole 30 on the 1st. Y'all, get some support. Come on over to the Self-Management for Actors Whole 30 Facebook group. I am so proud of y'all. I have a list of top 5 tips that I give everybody before starting a Whole 30, and those will get you started on the right foot. And then there's just a lot of support throughout the 30 days, because there's just going to come a time when you want to kill everybody, and then there's going to come a time when you're just bored. And of course, because you can't weigh yourself during it, it's like you can't necessarily feel like you're seeing the progress. And there's a point during the Whole 30 where your clothes get tighter, and it's like, what the frick? And it's like, I know not everybody does Whole 30 to try and lose weight, but it's to reduce inflammation. So you start to wonder, why are my pants tight if I'm reducing inflammation? And it's because your body is churning out all the shit that regularly keeps inflammation around while you're doing the Whole 30, and it is allowing it to get processed and moved out so that you're running clean by the end of it. And it's just really awesome. Hi, Kate, glad you're here. So today's topic, beautiful people, we're going to talk about how you know if it's resistance or if it's just bullshit. Like, do you have a real block? Do you have something that actually needs to be dealt with and investigated and the layers peeled away? Or is it just a matter of just fucking do it and you might not be getting it done? Hi, Kim. Good to see you, sweetheart. What kinds of things feel like blocks to you? Let's start there. Let me find out from y'all in the comments what sorts of things feel like blocks to you specifically. And let's try and tackle some of these and talk about how we know the difference between a real block that actually needs some time and attention to peel away the layers and kind of heal some things to be able to move forward, and what is just that old school Stephen Pressfield resistance that needs to just be gotten over. Like, it's not something to heal, it's just fucking do it. I would love to talk about the difference in those and how to use your guidance to know the difference between those, so that you know when to let yourself off the hook for the block that you feel like you're having, because no, this is real and it needs more work. I shouldn't push through this. That would actually be unkind to myself to push through it. And when it actually is stuff that you got to call yourself on your own bullshit. You're feeling blocked now with all the Virgo. Yeah, Lisa, right now, there is no air, I think, for most of this month. For most of August, we had like no signs in air. I think we may now, but for most of the month, we had no signs in air. And when there's no air, think about that just from an element perspective. Like there's no space in what we're doing. There's no flow of energy other than the water, which is a very different kind of flow than the air. So for sure, that stuckness can happen. So, but let's talk about what those blocks might feel like. Priyanka, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're excited for today's topic. Agent cover letters, Katie says, feel like blocks. This round of Getting Gear, I opened that day and went, nope. Okay, so Katie wants to talk about agent cover letters. Kate gets discouraged, feel depressed, and motivation seems to disappear. Kate, let's talk about a specific thing. Can you tell me like what it is that gets you discouraged about being close and then getting depressed and then motivated? Because you're right, like those are things that stack on one another. You feel so close, you get discouraged, then you change from discouragement to depression, and then you go, I have no motivation, and then it just kind of like spirals into this like I don't want to move. So let's talk about something specific that feels like that's a block. Let's see. Lelia, and I know we talked about how to pronounce your name, and I had it right when we talked on the phone, and you confirmed it, and now I'm less confident. Lelia. Oh, dang it. I was so proud of myself, and now I've lost where I put it in my brain. That's something that I'm noticing the older I get, that I'm losing where I file some shit. Feeling enough, and whether my enoughness is blocking me getting further in my career. Feeling jealous of other people getting work, and I want to get work, but when I do, I get scared, not good enough, or won't enjoy it. Layla, let's talk about that. Layla, I'm going to call you Layla. Thank you for confirming. Okay, Layla, let's talk about that. If you, when you get on a set or book work, suddenly get stricken with, I don't feel good enough, I don't know if I'm ready for this, then that feeling jealous and envious of other people booking work is actually protecting you, because you still have energy to clean up, so that when you get the bookings, you're like, yes, of course I got this booking. Of course I'm ready to work. There is nothing in the way. Because right now, if you're showing up with, even when you get a booking, something feeling like you're not enough, you don't deserve it, somebody's going to come onto that set and fire you at any moment, you're going to get bad reviews, someone's going to be mad at you, like whatever that energy is, that ping that you're getting before you book of feeling jealous of somebody else's booking is a sign that you've got energy to clean up before you are fully ready to get those opportunities. So it's actually a gift. That's really good. Kate, feeling like no matter what it is that I do, it doesn't matter because I'm not progressing. I feel like I'm not getting the signs I think I should. Kate, one of the things that closes down our ability to read the signs, to be open to receiving the signs, is that feeling like it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I do. It's all for naught. Like that existential crisis, like that energy makes it so that it's harder for us to read the signals, for us to know what it is that are the signs leading us to our next best action in anything that we're doing. Let's see, Lisa, Virgo new moon brings work opportunity. Saturn going direct on the 17th will change stuff too. Lisa, I love this. Oh, we can geek out on this all day. Lelia, thank you. Find self-typing as a block. Sam, have you used other people's help for self-typing? When you say I find self-typing as a block, are you putting up a brand survey and getting other people's feedback and then looking at that data and checking for patterns? If you don't know what I'm talking about, guys, just go to Google. Actually, my amazing team will put in the comments at Facebook a direct link to this. But for those of you watching everywhere else and not able to see the link in the Facebook comments for whatever reason, just Google Bonnie Gillespie type survey. That's it. Bonnie Gillespie type survey. I have a free class online for how to do a survey for your most castable type and brand. Get that done, Sam, and then look at that data. And if you're finding the block is in going through and looking at the data that you've been given, that really is a just fucking do it. I'm going to tell you how you can know for sure, but in general, that's a just fucking do it, because the amount of data can be overwhelming, or it might be telling you something that you're not excited to learn, or you're like, well, what do I do with this once I have it? And those are bigger issues that we should talk about. But because you just said self-typing, I'm not sure what exact part of that process feels like a block to you, and I'd love to know. Kate, thank you for coming back on this. Getting 2 or 3 big callbacks in a row, being put on a veil, getting almost booked for a big job, and then not. This has been the story of the last 2 weeks. Okay, so Kate, I want you to remember the version of yourself who said, however long ago, years ago, months ago, who would have said, I would give anything to even get a callback, to get a pin put in me, to be put on a veil, to have an indication that my work is good, that I am enough, that I am in the right industry, that I've chosen the right profession, that I'm talented. I would give anything for the confirmation that a callback would give me. And stop rushing to the, well, now I'm a failure because I didn't book. Because there's a past version of you who would have done anything to get a callback, and you weren't getting callbacks. And then you started getting callbacks and immediately rush from gratitude for the callback to, yeah, but I didn't book. And it's like the universe reads that energy and says, you aren't even grateful for the gifts you got. Why would I bring you more? And right now, the gifts you got are even an audition, first and foremost, and then a callback, and then an avail. I mean, gift. Are you kidding me? Thousands of people don't even get asked to audition. Hundreds of people who audition don't even get a callback. And certainly, dozens of people who get callbacks never get pinned, never get put on a veil. So why focus on the tiny little bit left that didn't happen? Pay attention to all the shit that went right. And when every bit of that stuff that got right is aligned and you can be grateful for that, watch the booking come. Watch the booking come. Sarah says, I try a dozen things to break down walls. When it doesn't work, I'm like, now what? I feel like I do too much of the wrong things, maybe. Sarah, that's a big one. Like, just feeling like the energy's kind of all over the place and we do the wrong things and I'm not sure what is my next right action. So I'm about to get into breaking down like how to read those signals. I just want to look at a few more of the comments that you've put in, and then I'll stop looking at comments and get into how we tell the difference between true blocks that need healing and just fucking do it type stuff. Kimberly, deciding on my no line. I feel like I'm stalling my own progress. Kimberly, no line is almost always a just fucking do it, but if what it is showing you is that you've got some unreconciled issues to deal with that are why you have certain no lines, and you have some judgment attached to why that's a no line, that actually might need healing. So I love this one, and we'll work on this in our various encounters coming up here soon, because I think that is actually some stuff that goes really well with the work we're doing in the masterclass on your relationship with success in September. Let's see. Sean is saying at Periscope, getting callbacks and holds more in the last 2 years, but not booking. My frustration is building. So Sean, same advice that I gave to Kate. Look back to a time when you would have been thrilled to get a callback ever, to get put on hold ever, and be so grateful for that you then invite in the energy that comes next. Yes. Cool. And Charlie, you like my energy today? Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Yes. Kate, struggle to unite my head and heart. I think that's a big one. Today's work will help with that. I've got a tip that I think is going to help a great deal with that. Lelia, similar block confusion, done so much data gathering. What I still don't know is what my brand / through line is. Lelia and Sam, this goes for both of you and anyone who's dealing with a typing block. Here's what I'll ask. Take casting directors out of the equation. Take producers, directors out of the equation. Take showrunners out of the equation. Take writers out of the equation. Take agents, managers out of the equation. So basically, get rid of all the buyers. Get rid of the fan base. Get rid of all the buyers. You are just a storyteller. You have a voice. You have talent. You have gifts that you want to share with the world. And without concern about how any of it will be received, what kind of stories do you want to tell? Go back and watch the free training I did in May on your true north. The link will be in the Facebook comments from my amazing team, but if you're watching anywhere else, just Google Bonnie Gillespie True North. There's a video that I did as a part of our free training series throughout the month of May 2019 that I would love for you to watch. Establishing that true north helps guide the rest of the type and brand conversation from who it is you are. And don't worry about, is that marketable? Don't worry about, is there anybody casting that right now? Because those things are fickle. Those things change. And you can't create a career out of something that changes that frequently. You'll go nuts doing it. You'll always be chasing trends. And there's actually a day in our course, Getting Gear for the Next Year. Let me put up that link real quick before I get into the next thing that I want to cover in terms of the tactics for today. If you've not done our 100-day program, highly recommended. We are coming up on the last 100 days of the year, and we are going to incentivize joining during this last 100 days of the year, or joining before the 100 days left in the year mark, which means joining within the next 3 weeks. So you'll hear more on that in September. But we actually have a day there in which we talk about trending versus timeless. And if your focus is on what's trending, you're going to run yourself ragged, because that's always changing. It's always changing. Flavor of the month is the flavor of the month for a reason, and rarely does it even last a month. But if you focus on what is timeless in your storytelling journey and in your goals as a storyteller, you will find that then the trends show themselves to you that you need to be leaning into based on your timeless trajectory. But that's some true north work that you need to do. So that's actually a really good practical bit of work for you right there. So hop in on that. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Do some of this work. Lelia, join me in that trending versus timeless day again in the 100 days. And let's work on that. Okay, cool. So let's get into, thanks, Samantha. I appreciate it. Samantha, I got a lot of not actor followers and fans these days, and I love it. And students and clients. There are tons of people who reach out to me and let me know, I'm not an actor anymore, and I'm still showing up for your work. And that's actually part of the Enoughness program that we're building right now, which I'll share more about as more becomes available. But we're actually creating something really special that is meant to go beyond actors and beyond showbiz even. So I'm glad to know that you're seeing the connection to how there's value in that, no matter what your creative life is, because every life is a creative life, I'm convinced. And those who say, no, my life's not at all creative, I just say, well, you're probably a blocked creative, and that could be some of the frustration that you might feel. Awesome. Cool. Okay, great. Yes, you're welcome. My pleasure, Lisa. Yes, Sean. Good. All right, cool. Good. Lelia, I'm so glad you have a Pinterest board on your True North. Keep visiting that. Yes, good. Okay, cool. So let's talk about the tactic. Here we go. Here's how we know. Almost always. And these specific examples you've given me in the comments, and I'm pointing at my little comment feed here over on the sidebar, thanks to my multi-stream thing. Y'all are showing me that these lie right in that space of what I use for a gut check. And I think that this will be very helpful if you can get in the habit of asking yourself, when it comes to that block, we'll call them all blocks right now, and then we'll decide, is this really a block or is it bullshit? And by bullshit, it just means it's resistance. It's something we just need to get over. It's something we need to JFDI, which means just fucking do it. It means you are going to feel better doing it, so do it. This is a JFDI block is like, I need to go work out and I don't want to go work out. Is this actual resistance, or is this like, I keep saying actual resistance. I'm using resistance in two different ways, and I need to clarify that. Is this an actual block that I need to tackle? Is this an actual issue that needs more attention and soothing before I can move forward? Or do I just need to fucking do it? Working out, almost always a just fucking do it. Almost always. Because we know we feel better. Even before we're finished with the workout, like while we're in the middle of it, those endorphins kick in and we go, okay, this is good for me. I'm going to be the good connoisseur. I needed this. I needed to burn off some energy. I'm so glad I made this happen. But man, I didn't want to do this, especially if it was early in the morning. I did not want to get out of bed. I wanted that extra sleeping time. See, me the other day when I had an early Pilates session and I was like, oh, can I bargain my way out of this? And it's like, no, just fucking do it. Get up, go do your Pilates. You will feel better for it. And of course I did and do. So we're talking about what falls there and then what falls into the territory of this is an actual bigger issue. And so this gets into places like Kimberly's no line that we talked about a minute ago. So here's what I check. Am I scared? And more specifically, am I scared or am I unsafe in moving this forward? So when I use the word scared, scared includes overwhelmed. Scared includes frustrated. Scared includes disheartened, disappointed, over it, sad. All of that lives under scared. And the work is the way through. Almost always. If I feel unsafe, if at the core of my jealousy over someone else's booking is that technically I don't yet feel safe being on a set at that level, at that tier, that I'm actually not sure that I have enough or that I am enough to do well once I'm granted that access. I need to actually heal some of that. I need to do some real examination of what makes me unsafe unsafe about succeeding. Because until I get that reconciled, I will keep bumping up against resistance. I will keep bumping up against resistance. Seeing the distinction? If I'm overwhelmed by my typing results, I just need to find a place to start. If I am frustrated at writing my cover letter, I just need to start. I need to create a crappy first version and get some feedback or hire someone to write it. But if I'm actually feeling unsafe taking agent meetings, if I'm feeling not ready to be repped at the tier that I say I want to be repped, and what that actually means about having to be available, having to go out for auditions, having to have the kind of schedule that I technically don't have with my survival job right now, having to go to different markets, having to possibly upend my relationships because I booked something where I have to go away and shoot on location. That is an issue of feeling unsafe that needs to be unpacked and healed before I will ever be able to move forward with writing that cover letter and taking that meeting and signing with that agent. And so let's take a look at things like those of you who've said, I've been getting callbacks and I've been put on a veil, but I'm not booking, so I'm frustrated. Is the frustration in the camp of fear and frustration in the overwhelm and that territory of just, no, it's just exhausting, it's just pissing me off? Then the JFDI for you is keep showing up. Shut up about complaining, see the gratitude, and just keep showing up because you are in the right place. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are getting all the results that you're supposed to be getting, and bring that gratitude back online, and damn it, you will see a difference. But as long as you're pissed that you're only getting so far, like, I'm so sad I only make $500,000 a year. I want to be a millionaire. You know what? Fuck off. How about, I am so grateful. The version of me who was on government-supported lunch is so fucking grateful that I have been able to build an empire out of my brain and out of my heart and out of the muse coming and talking to me. How would I ever be resentful that I haven't yet made $1 million in a single year? Right? You look at that and go, yeah, of course, Bonnie, duh, be grateful. Be grateful, because are you kidding? Look at what you've built. And I'm saying the same thing to you. But if you're sitting there going, why can't I book? You're telling the universe, don't bring me anything else because I am an ungrateful, you know what? Because I can't even sit in a place of appreciation for how much farther along I am today than I was before. That's the fix. Oh, we have a celebrity in the house. Tracy Twinkie Bird, my baby. I love you. By the way, if y'all have not checked out Twinkie's book, and I'm going to say her latest book because there are more, because of course she is brilliant. If you don't know Tracy Twinkie Bird, please follow her, get in her world, listen to her take you to school every day on Instagram. Love you so much. Love you so much. Lelia, I think it's feeling unsafe that I'm not booking at the moment. And even just going to class, I'm questioning my enoughness. I notice I want to say I can do this and know I'm good enough, but there's a part of me that feels like it won't work and it's all talk. So Lelia, this is a safety issue, which means until this block gets unpacked and untangled and healed, you are keeping a cap on how successful you can be because it doesn't feel safe to be successful yet. Because if you were to be successful while not feeling enough, you're walking around feeling like a fraud, waiting for someone to expose you for not deserving to be where you are. And that sounds terrifying, right? So what's the work? The work is heal the enoughness. Get to a place where you know that when that opportunity comes and when that booking comes, that of course you are belonging in that space and that no one is looking for the cracks. No one is checking your passport to make sure that you're legal on that set. You are, in fact, exactly where you're meant to be. And then this comes into trusting the universe because, of course, we're always exactly where we're meant to be. But that requires an awful lot of trust and faith and enoughness, and everybody's got their different system for working that stuff out. I love knowing when I'm feeling unsafe because it allows me to give myself a lot of grace and a lot of patience for what I've not yet moved forward or for where I'm stalled out. And instead of then being mad at myself for being stalled out, I am so grateful to the opportunity to take a little more time unpacking the deeper issues beneath that enoughness issue. And so for some people, enoughness comes from the outside, and for others, it comes from the inside. And for me, it's a little bit of both. I'm not going to lie. When my book is #1 on the charts at Amazon, I feel way more enough than when it's number 375. However, I don't, when the book is 375, feel like the book sucks. I just go, okay. It doesn't take me down to see that. But what I do is when I see it #1, I go, that is correct. And then I am reminded, yes, this is exactly how it's supposed to feel. This is exactly how my work is supposed to be received. And I lean into that energy and take advantage of what I can move forward while I am in that space of high enoughness. And so I'll ask you, Lelia, and everyone, when you have those moments of feeling like, oh, I'm enough, this is good, yes, I deserve this, I'm doing great work, I just killed that scene in class, I got a callback, I got put on a veil. Can you take that outer validation and turn it into inner validation? Can you take it through that process and internalize it in a way that is incredibly kind to your system and not results oriented? Not results oriented. Like, if I don't get a call back, then I'm a failure. Like, I don't want you to take it to the opposite of this. I want you to really turn it into, oh, look at this confirmation that I'm getting. I often say, especially where money's concerned, that wealth is not the result of your hard work. It's a byproduct of your alignment. And so when we see things working out for us, it is simply a side effect of everything being lined up. And so part of the work right now is to get the stuff lined up, because the last thing you want is to get an opportunity and then block it because you haven't fixed the energy yet. So how can we fix the energy? So for those of you especially who have posted your comments already about what your block is, I want you to come back to me and tell me, what can you do to switch up the energy behind the block if it hasn't already just been completely crushed because of this conversation. Like your block may not exist in this 34 minutes that we've shared. You may already be like, no block. Like, what would that look like? Thanks, Mara. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Terry. Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Twinkie. Love y'all. I wish, says Kimberly. Okay, great. So tell me, Kimberly, what can we do that would allow you to feel that you got a handle on where to go with this block? Like what can we do specifically? Like, have you at least been able to go, yep, I see where that block lives. Like I think I know the underlying issue of what feels unsafe about that. And you don't have to share what that is here in the comments unless you just feel so inspired. You're certainly welcome to, but I ain't gonna tell anybody to overshare on the internet. Like we already do way too much of that as a generation. Terry, going to the beach with my journal and continue to write my story today. Good. Kimberly, it's fear-based. It's fear. It's not unsafeness. I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Because if it's fear and not unsafeness, unsafety, if it's fear, then you just do it. That's going to the gym. Just get up and go. Uncertainty, a steady day job is steady. A creative career is not. That's unsafe. Right. Let's talk about that. A steady day job is steady. A creative career is not. First of all, that you have a belief that a creative career cannot also be steady money. That's a belief. I would start to ask where that belief got planted. And I don't care that you have a lot of evidence that it is true. I would love to know, where did that belief get planted? Because before beliefs got planted, we believed we could fly. Like going back to early childhood, until somebody told us we couldn't, we were pretty sure that if we ran fast enough and then jumped, we could just fly. And then we either learned experientially or someone told us that, no, here's how gravity works. You can't do that. I would love to know at what point a belief got set that creative careers are unsafe financially, because I'm guessing that's what you're talking about since you mentioned a steady day job. It's usually financial security. Well, if you're booking at a level of a series regular or studio feature films, supporting large supporting roles, even not even leads, and you're doing one job after the next job after the next job, that's more money than you would ever make in a steady job. It's just all at once, and you have to get really smart and strategic about how you invest that and where you put it so that you feel safe for the dry spells. So it's not that a creative career is inconsistent financially and therefore unsafe. It's that your concern about your ability to take a whole lot of money at once and figure out where to put it so that you feel safe for the times between that we need to deal with. Becky says, I feared calling a rep. JF DI'd it, and bam, awesome convo and phenomenal new rep. Becky, congratulations. That is awesome. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to them, because they scored you. Fabulous. Good. I'm glad you JF DI'd it. Because if it's only scared, you do it. But learning the difference between fear and lack of safety is a very important distinction. If you feel unsafe pursuing a creative career, you're telling the universe, don't let me be successful in a creative career because it is unsafe. So you're at cross purposes in what you're putting out there. You are showing up to the audition, but energetically you're saying, don't let me book this because it is unsafe if I go this road. And what is far safer for me is to stay the road of the survival job. And then we feel that energy in the casting room. We don't know what it is. We don't care what it is. It just feels uncastable, no matter how talented you are. which can explain a lot why you can be the best for the role, so talented, amazing, the right look. It makes no sense that you didn't book. Check your energy. Check your energy. That might be it. If there's anything to clean up, you want to clean it up, because then when you clean it up, at least you know you go into that next audition without any of that. You're not bringing any energetic hitchhiker with you. Because as I said yesterday in one of my mastermind groups, I am not a bus. Energetic hitchhikers, get off, because I'm done carting y'all around. Lelia, something that often comes up, or that comes up, I added the often. Something that comes up is, if I become successful, then what happens? What do I pursue then? What do I work on then? How do I improve then? So Lelia, you already have your blocks before you've even got the success. Like you have so much what if about where you want to go that you're actually protecting yourself when you don't book work. Because by not booking, you are protecting against all that unknown. And one of the things that we're working on in the Mind Body Healing group that I am both a part of as a student, and then the one that I run, is that whole thing of gray area. How do we make gray area feel safe? And again, this is something that we get really good at as adults, that we don't like gray area. When we were younger, we loved gray area. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to discover something. Oh my God, watch a fucking puppy. If you want to learn how gray area can be cool, like what's over there? What's there? I don't know. I'm about to learn something. I'm going to go follow that smell because that's interesting. What am I going to learn over here? And just watching the brain expand as something with that kind of energy goes out in search of what if. But we get stuck over here in the what is and the risks, and we get really nervous about gray area because gray area is gray, and that's scary. The unknown is scary, so we would rather go with the known. And just from an evolutionary perspective, our brains are wired to prefer the known, even if it is less fun and exciting and pleasurable than the potential over in the unknown. This is that study where the animals that are tested get a certain kind of experience when they hit a lever, and one of them is like, sometimes it's a shock, sometimes it's candy, it's not candy, it's whatever's candy to the species that we're running the test on, or the animal that we're running the test on. That species. We go through and say, hit that lever, and it's either going to be a shock, or it's going to be nothing, or it's going to be something really pleasurable. It's going to be your candy. And we could even have a situation where it's never a shock, but it's inconsistent, and the animal will choose the shock every time because at least they know what they're getting. This is why we stay in bad relationships longer than we should. This is why we keep around habits that we know are not good for us. Anytime we are staying in lower tier behaviors, working in act or busy work, staying in circles of friends that we know are not good for us because all we do is sit around and bitch about the industry, any of that falls in line with, but at least I know what to expect. And the gray area is terrifying to our brain. That what if is scary. So part of what we have to do, and this is what we do in expansive capacity, this is what we do in getting gear for the next tier, this is what we do in the enoughness course that I'm building, is we make it feel safe to not know. And that takes work. That takes leaning into places where we don't know what the outcome is going to be, and trusting that we're going to be safe no matter what, which comes from a resting state of enoughness. It comes from a resting state of, no matter what happens, I am going to be okay. No matter what happens, I am going to be safe. No matter what happens, I am enough. And that's inner work. That's inner work. Priyanka, head is cracked open. Yes, this lady's brain right here. Follow-up questions, because that's a lot. I don't want to overload you. Right now, my brain is also filled with all the things for expansive capacity for September, because I'm writing up the course for September, which is, of course, your relationship with success. And so there's a lot of this kind of conversation that's all like crowded in there, in the research and the data and all the stuff I love to share with y'all, as you know, those of you who are in the program, the membership. So I don't want to overload here, because this is meant to be a introduction to that kind of conversation. What questions might y'all have before we wrap up Rip. Ugh. Gosh, today I have a phone call coming up here in a couple hours. Oh, not even. In just over an hour, we have the Getting Gear for the Next Tier live Q&A call for day 90 of our live round. Y'all, you're almost graduated. Crazy. Crazy. You're almost graduated. I can't even. Growing up. I'm so excited. Y'all done so much. Y'all done so much. It's awesome. Okay, I'm not seeing questions coming in. Sometimes there's a lag, so I'm hanging out in just another minute. But I will be live noon Pacific Tuesdays all September and October. What? And what is my topic for Tuesday? I can't remember. I know it. I know we figured it out. You're welcome, sweetheart. Absolutely my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm glad that helped with some clarity. That's why we're here. Get some clarity. Yes, do it. Do it, do it. Awesome. Those of you watching in replay, remember hashtag replay. I will come back around and look for your questions in the Facebook replay. So wherever it is that you're watching, come over there if you have questions that you would like to put in the comments. But now that I will be going live every week for 2 months, we will have lots of opportunity for Q&A. Cool. Everybody have a safe holiday weekend for those of you in the States and celebrating Labor Day on Monday. And for those of you that are elsewhere, have a good weekend, even if it's not a holiday, because all weekends can feel like holidays. But for me, even weekdays can feel like holidays. Like every minute can feel like a holiday. I just have to decide it, which I often do. All right, you beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always a blast. Fabulous. Good. I'm so glad. Lisa, my pleasure. I'm very, very glad that that helps even non-actors with some visibility challenges. Yes, good. Because really, we are all in creative careers. And creative careers, I heard this definition last month, actually, and I'm kind of in love with it. Oh, I hope I get it right, because I wasn't prepared to say this, so I didn't bring the quote out in front of me. It's somebody else's. I don't even remember where. Again, the menopausal brain. The definition of creativity is trusting the world, trusting yourself to leave a mark on the world. That. Oh, and I think it was Molly Mahar who said that. I'm in her monthly mentorship program, and I'm almost sure that was Molly. Thank you, Terry. I do receive from the universe what I give. Thank you. I do, and I am. I do receive it, and I am receiving it, and I'm leaning more and more into that. Absolutely. Leila, can you speak a little on fortifying your enoughness and launching at 85% so it doesn't become I need to wait till I feel more enough? Well, that's part of what launch at 85% is, sweetheart, is feel ready enough that you can start moving forward, because the forward momentum does increase the enoughness. It feeds itself. So feeling like I've done enough math, I've done enough research, I can trust that this is where I'm headed. Yes, this is going to work. Now I launch, and then you get the feedback, and absolutely, you know that you can keep going. Absolutely my pleasure, Victor. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Maria, for tuning in. Thank you, Tony. So glad to have you here. Absolutely my pleasure, Sam. I'm so glad that you've read SMFA for like the 5th time. I really appreciate that. Those of you who have been waiting for books to come in wherever you are, hopefully tomorrow, our shipment of new printed books comes in from Canada. We go through this whole printing process that is, yes, runaway production, whatever. It's the best deal. Actually, the best deal's in China, but we're loyal to our printers up in Canada. But that means they have to come all the way across and all the way across, because they're like on the East Coast. So we got to haul all the way across. Anyway, we should have more books in stores in the next couple of weeks. So thank you. Love you, Ryan. Thank you, beautiful people. So remember that creativity is trusting yourself to leave your mark on the world, trusting yourself to have your voice heard in the world. That's what creativity is. Yeah. And I'm totally mangling the quote, but So I guess it doesn't matter if I'm not entirely sure that it's Molly's, but I think it's Molly's. It's also, I'm not saying the quote right, but I'm an attribution junkie. Hello, J School. Can't help it. Awesome. Thanks, Victor. Glad you're reading the book. Okay, beautiful people. We'll sign off for now. Thank you for joining me. We'll meet again, hopefully on Tuesday. And whenever I see you, please know I appreciate you. And head on over to BonnieGillespie.com to get all your resources, get on the mailing list. And of course, feel free to join us in the 100 days if you want to spend the last 100 days of 2019 doing this kind of work and really digging in on all the tools from a practical perspective, but most importantly, the enoughness from an inside perspective. Because if the inner game is not on point, it doesn't matter what your tools are doing. They can't do it all. You gotta have your enoughness on check. That is the work. That is the heavy lifting. All right, beautiful people. Till next time, stay ninja. Bye. Thank you for joining me.